Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Lily Aldrich.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White. And so far, it's been a pretty quiet day. We've had a little bit of sunshine. I know it started off cloudy. We got the sun shining now, and now it's kind of a watch and wait to see what happens with these storms this afternoon.
Exactly. I was talking a little bit in our noon show today about how cloud cover was kind of impacting what we're going to see later this afternoon. But for the most part, we're still pretty clear over here in Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was coming in and the sun's shining. We got a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures getting up closer to 80. So it has that feel that we're going to get some storms this afternoon. The question will be how strong they get, and it's something we'll be tracking here as we go through the rest of the day. And then we got a lot of heat coming our way next week.
Oh yeah, got a couple days of those like showers and storms and whatnot, and then you hit Monday and it's like bang.
Yeah, it's like
it's warm.
Welcome to summer.
Summer in Ohio.
Yeah.
But outside right now, like we said, it's pretty cloudy out there. Got a little bit of that cloud cover, and we see some chances of rain over in our area. A little bit of showers here and there, but for our central metro, it's not looking too rainy out right now, but that is going to change a little bit later this afternoon. We're keeping an eye on some isolated storms coming through our area later this afternoon, but our main concern with those are pretty much gusty winds and some localized heavier downpours, and we do have a chance for some of them to become slightly severe or at least pretty strong. Coming up after that, though, we're seeing rain chances for the next few days. That's going to continue into your Friday, Saturday, and a little bit into your Sunday morning. But after that point, after your Sunday, temperatures are on the rise. It's going to get significantly warmer than how we have been this past month. So keep that in mind. Wind gusts today looking pretty breezy out there, 25 miles per hour by the time you hit 7 o'clock tonight. It's going to be gusty, especially with all those storms that we're keeping track of coming in later this afternoon. So it's as for our hour by hour. This is around 3 o'clock today, so we're expecting to possibly see some storms start to brew up in our area. Maybe a couple localized downpours, but we're still seeing some clouds out there around 3 o'clock today. By the time we get into 4 or 5 o'clock, we're seeing a little bit more development closer to our east side, over closer to Coshocton. But for the most part, these are going to kind of keep its way out, and we're still seeing a chance of having some lingering storms coming in behind that first initial wave. By the time that clears out, we're still seeing that chance of pop-up showers through your evening hours, 8:30, 9 o'clock. By the time we get into your Friday early mornings, lots of cloud cover. It's going to be cloudy by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. This is around 11 a.m. tomorrow. And we're still seeing that chance of having some showers push in by the time you get into 2, 3 o'clock. By the time you get into Friday afternoon, we're seeing a little bit more of a widespread rain event. For the showers coming in tonight, we're expecting mainly to stay north of I-70, maybe a chance of a pop-up further to our southern counties. But for the most part, on our Friday, it's looking a little bit more widespread and possibly having some more heavier downpours for the Columbus metro area. This is around 6:30 tomorrow. By the time we get into 7, 8 o'clock, this is a view at 9. We do have a chance of seeing a little bit more development towards our southern counties. But by the time this pushes through, it leaves you a little bit clearing compared to what we will have later tonight. It'll clear out a little bit until you get into your Saturday morning. Here's an outlook for our forecast of what we're seeing for our rainfall amounts tonight. We're seeing some areas could possibly get up to an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch of rain in some counties, but some aren't even going to see any. Right now, our forecast totals have 0 for the metro, but that doesn't account for possibly having a pop-up storm in the area. But for the most part, we're expecting them to stay mainly to our northern counties. Here's what you need to know, though. This afternoon, we are going to be seeing some isolated storms. Not everyone will see them, but we will keep you updated on the 10 TV app whenever we do have anything move in the area. For our rain chances for the next few days, we're still seeing that chance. Friday, hey, we're going to see some rain tomorrow, and that's going to continue into your Saturday and Sunday. Similar pattern from what we're going to see later this afternoon, maybe a little bit more widespread. By the time you get into Sunday morning, though, it's mainly just early morning showers. By the time you get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, absolutely clear. You're looking really good, but you're looking warm. Here's our outlook today. We do have that slight chance of having a scattered shower or two, and this could be a little bit severe, but we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the night. Aaron will be in forecasting for your 4, 5, and 6 o'clock hours. Here's your mugginess meter. After we get through today, it is getting muggy up there. We're getting to the low 70s for your dew points by the time you get into Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be kind of gross, and our high temperatures are on the rise. By the time you get into Monday, Tuesday, look at that, a high of 94 degrees. Haven't seen that one since last May. It's been quite a long time, or this past month, actually. We had a really nice long stretch of cooler days with below average temperatures compared to what we had at the beginning of June, but that's not going to really stick around, and the rest of the month is looking pretty much above normal for those heat impacts. So hey, for today, got those rain chances tonight. Friday and Saturday looking pretty widespread with those rain. By the time you get into Sunday, just that chance of afternoon or morning showers rather. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's looking clear, but it's looking really hot.
Yeah, a bit of a switch in the pattern here from the showers and storms into more summertime heat and humidity, which could lead to a couple chances maybe in those pop-ups as we get into the afternoon, mid to late next week, but still 95 degrees on Wednesday. Definitely pretty toasty.
You hate to see it, Aaron.
Yeah, but
I can't.
You know, it was bound to happen. You know, we were going to get to the mid 90s. It happens every summer, of course, and we could actually have some heat index values closer to 100. So we'll be watching that, of course, as we continue on through the forecast, and also watching the storm chances that we have today, tomorrow, and into the start of the weekend. But as we move from the weather now, we also have to move on to what has been a devastating 24-hour period for earthquakes around the globe. Rescue efforts are actually underway in Venezuela following two powerful back-to-back earthquakes. At least 164 people are dead and nearly 1,000 others are injured.
The U.S. is among other nations stepping up to help. Christian Benavidez reports from Miami.
Rescue teams in hard hats and bike helmets are carefully searching collapsed buildings in Venezuela, trying to reach people who may be buried alive. Video shows survivors holding each other on the outskirts of Caracas as a pair of powerful earthquakes leveled neighborhoods. This video captures the moment the ceiling at Simon Bolivar International Airport gave way, sending travelers scrambling. The U.S. Geological Survey says a magnitude 7.2 earthquake hit about 100 miles west of Caracas Wednesday evening, followed less than a minute later by a magnitude 7.5 tremor.
The house in some moments was like jumping.
Journalist Tony Frangi Mawad was headed to watch the World Cup when he became trapped in his building's elevator.
I felt it moving and then moving really fast. We just hope for the best, and I started to pray and to press every button, waiting for it to open up.
Un hecho de grave consecuencia.
Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez has declared a state of emergency, saying the focus is on saving lives. While some people have been found in the rubble, the UN says the level of devastation is overwhelming local authorities.
You got to get people out of that rubble within 48 hours or they won't survive.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says search and rescue teams from California and Virginia have been deployed to the region.
They have a bunch of collapsed buildings, and so they'll need a lot of help in terms of digging through that.
The U.S. is also sending medical resources and humanitarian aid. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
And unfortunately, Venezuela wasn't the only one dealing with major quakes in the past 24 hours. A powerful earthquake struck off Japan's northern coast on Thursday, but the country's meteorological agency said there was no danger of a tsunami.
The quake upgraded to a magnitude of 7.2 from an initial reading of 6.9, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, the JMA. It struck off the eastern coast at a depth of around 50 kilometers, right around 30 miles. The rattling occurred in an area where strong earthquakes have repeatedly been reported in recent months, including one that triggered a week-long megaquake caution advisory in December. There were no immediate reports of injuries or damage.
And we're still not done with the tremors, as a magnitude 5.6 quake also hit California on Wednesday. With more on that incident, here's Brad Hamilton reporting.
From homes to grocery stores, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake shook an entire community to its core and left residents in disbelief.
And it was only a 5.6. There's no freaking way. It was way bigger.
The USGS confirmed the quake hit at 8:10 a.m. in the Redwood Valley community of Mendocino County. Several aftershocks, all less than 3.0 magnitude, were also reported. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office has not reported any severe injuries or major structural damage, but the quake's impact was clear to see. A grocery store in Redwood Valley had more than just a cleanup on aisle 3. Products thrown from shelves produced shattered glass and messy floors.
Flew off the shelf and hit me kind of in the head.
In Willits, Faith Carter is still trying to get over both the shock and the pain she felt during the quake. The manager of a local pizza shop was prepping for the day with the rest of her staff when it all started.
I don't think I've ever been through an earthquake this bad before, because at first I was looking at the ground and I was like, oh, okay, it's an earthquake. I thought it was gonna stop, and it just started getting worse. And then everything started shaking, our shelves and everything started flying off. So I started shaking because it was really scary, and I ran outside.
At its peak, PG&E reported that at least 10,000 of its customers lost power in the aftermath. On at least one road in Willits, crews dealt with downed power lines. For longtime resident of Willits, Pete Swanton, this earthquake tops all others that he's felt living here for 41 years.
There's probably 10 seconds, and I just hung on. And I mean, it was rocking and rolling the whole house. You could hear the house creaking and banging.
Whether they hung on like Pete or ducked for cover, this is a day that won't soon be forgotten in Mendocino County. But right now is not the time for reflection. There's just too much cleaning up to do.
From earthquakes, we now turn to wildfires, and things are continuing to ramp up across the western United States.
Yeah, that's right. And here's the latest information on that this afternoon. Evacuations have been ordered in one of the counties out in parts of the southwest, actually around the Santa Fe National Forest, due to a wildfire. This video shows aerial view of the conditions on Wednesday as that fire was continuing to spread. No additional details on the status of the fire was provided at the time, but you can just see from the video that it was, pretty expansive there in the southwest and also in other areas.
Yeah, and over in Utah, fire officials released an update on the Cottonwood fire in Beaver and Paiute counties on Wednesday, saying it had exploded to an estimated 59,600 acres with a 0% containment. Officials say the blaze is fueled by high temperatures, gusty winds, and extremely dry conditions, describing it as, quote, very active and exhibiting extreme fire behavior, end quote.
And with more on the impacts of extreme heat, wildfires, and severe storms, here's CNN's John Lorink reporting.
The Cottonwood fire could end up being the most catastrophic wildfire in Utah history.
Because the fire has been so destructive, because it's burning so hot and so fast, we haven't been able to get in and assess all of the loss there, but it's certainly catastrophic.
Tens of thousands of acres are already scorched. As of Wednesday night, officials say it was 0% contained.
We knew it was going to be a very difficult fire season, knew it would start early, and sure enough, it has happened.
Other parts of the nation are also dealing with significant meteorological problems. Residents across Colorado are on high alert as forecasters are calling for hail, strong winds, and tornadoes, which are expected to last throughout Thursday and into Friday. Over in Oklahoma, people are confronting the aftermath of heavy rains that caused floods, sending crews to perform water rescues from Tulsa to Ataka County.
We saved them all, got them all out of their vehicles, no injuries, so we're lucky in that aspect.
And in West Virginia, massive downpours drenched Logan and Boone counties, leaving people with a lot of cleanup to do.
Got 4 feet in my garage, 2 feet in my house. It was up above my hood on my tractor. It was a major mess.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We get closer and closer this afternoon to our nation's 250th anniversary. And that means it's time for another look back at how weather has changed our history. Back in 1925, the tri-state tornado tore through parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, leaving entire communities devastated. This became the deadliest tornado in U.S. history.
And meteorologist Evan Stewart takes us back in time before radars and warnings when we couldn't actually see the storms coming.
Imagine a tornado so fast and so powerful that entire towns had no time to react. On March 18, 1925, the deadliest tornado in U.S. history tore across 3 states, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. The tri-state tornado stayed on the ground for more than 200 miles, moving at speeds up to 60 miles per hour. Communities were devastated in just minutes. But what made this storm especially dangerous was the fact that there were no warnings. At the time, there were no weather radars, no modern forecasting, and forecasters were even discouraged from using the word tornado in official forecasts for fear it would cause a panic. Nearly 700 people were killed, making it the deadliest tornado in American history. And it wasn't just the power of the storm, it was how unprepared people were. The tri-state tornado exposed a gap in weather science. In the years that followed, that gap will begin to close, and just 23 years later, for the first time, a tornado was successfully predicted.
And as we're getting closer, of course, to the nation's anniversary, the 250th, we're actually picking up the pace a little bit here with some of these historical weather events that we're bringing to you here on the 10 Weather Impact Show, and actually bringing you 2 stories each day.
Well, let's take another look back with Evan Stewart as we move ahead to 1948, where meteorologists at Tinker Air Force Base made a groundbreaking decision that would change severe weather forecasting forever. Here again, Evan Stewart.
Tinker Air Force Base is a major facility located near Oklahoma City in the heart of Tornado Alley. On March 20th, 1948, a damaging tornado hit the base, catching many off guard. It damaged over 100 aircraft and injured 8 people. In the days that followed, base meteorologist Lieutenant Colonel Ernest Fallbush and Captain Robert C. Miller took a closer look at the weather patterns for this tornado and past tornado outbreaks. Then, just 5 days later, the meteorologists noticed something familiar. The weather setup developing on March 25th looked almost identical to the one that produced the tornado just a few days prior. Now, at the time, tornadoes were considered unpredictable and forecasts for tornadoes simply weren't done. But after the damage on March 20th, there was pressure to act. So Fallbush and Miller made a bold decision. They issued the first tornado forecast. And later that day, another tornado formed. It struck near the base, but this time preparations had been made and personnel were ready. While this tornado did do damage, it could have been worse. No one was injured. And for the first time, a tornado didn't arrive as a complete surprise. That moment in 1948 changed everything, marking the beginning of modern tornado forecasting and the warning systems we still rely on today.
Finally today, let's check out some new video here into us at 10 TV. So check out this creepy situation where we can hear the crunch from here. Ugh, it's summer and you know what that means. The mayfly mayhem is back. This is a video posted by the Ohio Division of Wildlife. It shows the winged insects swarming the bay, the Put-in-Bay Aquatic Visitors Center.
Yeah, not always the sight you want to see, but you know, hey, it's summertime. And while these crawly critters may give you the ick, of course, but they are actually a strong indicator of good water quality. They're very common in the Great Lakes area, and they won't bother us for long. They only live for hours or days when they actually come out of the water, but still, yeah. Not
Aaron,
the sight you want to see.
Well, I know that you would just love to go swimming there.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time, right? You know, just swim with the bugs, right? Oh, there you go. Yeah, go paddleboarding and just avoid them or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty wild stuff there up in Put-in-Bay.
And then finally, let's check out this scene where the sky over Mias, Russia, appeared deep red on Sunday.
Yeah, just look at that color. I mean, it looks like kind of a storm cloud moving in there. Local authorities warned of thunderstorms and heavy rain in the area. The sky certainly given that ominous vibe as those storms were rolling in, but definitely you don't see that too often. Of course, as the storm is moving through, right around as the sun is setting, we've seen that here in Ohio, of course, when you get some orange coloring in the sky, but to see that deep red, definitely makes it more ominous.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I feel like I'm stepping out and this would be like a perfect Halloween day, or like I'm going out to Stranger Things and
oh right, yeah,
like,
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That's a scene from Stranger Things. Isn't that what this is?
I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, that's wild though. And it isn't what's a red sky in the morning, sailors take warnings, red sky at night, sailors delight. But I'm like, this is red sky at night. I don't know about that.
You going sailing, Aaron?
Maybe. We'll see. Go over to Russia and see the red sky there, but or go sailing to avoid the mayflies up on Lake Erie.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
No bugs this way. Not yet.
Yeah, hopefully not. But of course, summertime's here, so bugs are out in full force. Of course, the mosquitoes are getting a little bit more active now, especially after all the rain we had back in May. So I've seen a lot more mosquitoes.
Yeah, and with the rain we're about to get as well.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about the rain as we look at the 7-day forecast here. You can see that we have those chances of scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Going to be watching that potential for a few stronger thunderstorms and then more rain Friday into Saturday. And then summer.
And then we hit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
summer.
and we got highs in the 90.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
So get ready for the heat here as we head into next week. So that'll do it for us here today on the 10 Weather Impact Show. Coming up later on this afternoon, I'll be watching those storms for you here at 4, 5, and 6, but also looking ahead to the heat. So until then, you can catch more news and weather online, as always, at 10tv.com.